Okay, thanks for clicking on this video. I'm going to share my opinion on something and I'm going to try and justify that opinion. And on the justification, you can decide whether or not I'm barking up the right tree or not. I'll share the opinion right off the bat. Here it is. I think people that have or are diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, bipolar, um, personality disorder, something like that, something like those things specifically, I think it's still folly to share it in the workplace because I don't think people yet have the mature understanding of what those things mean. And when they have a lack of mature understanding, I think it risks, I suppose, people casting aspersions about your capability or your family member's capability if that's the case. I think some things are well understood. So for example, dyslexia. Someone now can volunteer that they have dyslexia and people don't think that that person's incapable, especially in terms of cognitive function. They know that they think differently and they might have trouble writing things down and spelling things correctly, but they don't think lesser of the person in terms of cognitive ability. But I think some things are still not well understood. Elements of depression, I think society is getting better in terms of understanding that, and certainly understanding that someone who suffers from depression it doesn't affect their cognitive ability. But we're not there yet. And those that are still early on, like ADD and ADHD, I think it would be folly to share that with your colleague, with your family, with your friends. Absolutely. I would advocate the smaller the circle, the better. But all I'm saying is because of the misunderstanding about what ADHD is and the way that it affects the brain, by oversharing it, it opens those that have it up to having others judge them unfairly, especially in terms of their cognitive ability. Certainly wouldn't mention it to colleagues, certainly wouldn't bring it up in an interview. If you're self-diagnosed with ADHD, certainly wouldn't mention that. But that's my opinion, and that's the justification behind it. And I'm sharing this from experience because I've seen people that volunteer that they have ADHD. And I feel like I've got a good handle on it. I understand what it's about because I've looked it up and I've done some research. And I know that the brain functions differently, but there's a level of acuity and sharpness. The brain thinks slightly differently because of the lack of dopamine that runs through the brain. I feel like I get it, but I don't 100%. But what I do know is I've heard other people say things that are just incorrect, and they're casting assumptions on people that have ADHD in terms of their, as I say, their cognitive aptitude, their ability. And I think those things aren't right. So because I think there's a misunderstanding and it's only viewed in a negative way still in society, I would just keep it to yourself. That's all I'm saying. Now, this video is very different from the others. And as I say this, I feel a little bit uncomfortable about it, but I feel compelled to share it because, as I say, I've seen people be really open and honest with other people, but because those other people don't understand it, there's misinterpretation that comes from it, and it's only negative misinterpretation. It's only recently, for example, with chronic fatigue syndrome, that it's been proven that it's a physical thing, that it's a overactive immune system that's still attacking something that's no longer there. It may have been a viral infection that's since passed, but the overactive immune system is causing exhaustion in that person's body. It's a physical thing where up to recently, a lot of, especially those in the medical field, still believed that it was a psychological thing, or at least it was a blend of the two. But we have research now that proves it's wholly physical. Someone who's suffering from exhaustion, from chronic fatigue, it's physical exhaustion. So we're finding out things all the time. and we're finding out things about our brains and the way they function. So that's why I feel compelled to share this. Most of my videos about how we make life easier, more simple, and we perform better. And I share tricks and techniques that I've discovered along the way to do that. But as I say, one of the best ways to make life simpler is, I suppose, have people judge us less, right? There's a lot of judging going on. So I don't know why I focused on this narrow channel. But yes, look, if you've got borderline personality disorder, bipolar, you're suffering from ADD, ADHD, all I'd say is share it with those that are only super, super close to you. And then even then, limit it to only those who actually need to know, but don't share it with your colleagues. I'm not telling you not to share it. I'm just expressing my opinion. Don't share it with colleagues because I don't see anything good coming out of that. When someone says that they've got ADHD, because of the lack of general understanding through society at the moment, only negative things come from that. As I say, we're getting more mature when it comes to depression and understanding that, and dyslexia, pretty mature on that. People have got a pretty good handle on that. But yes, some of those other elements, yeah, just be really careful who you share it with. That's it. Okay, as I say, it's a little bit different in terms of the other videos I've produced, which are more tools and techniques. And certainly, I think for those that have ADHD, a lot of the tools and techniques that I share help because they really, they hone the focus. Anyway, leave it there. It's a big call if you want to hit like on this video, I suppose. And if you want to subscribe, feel free. I can't imagine many subscriptions coming out of this one, but thanks for your patience. Thanks for making it to the end. Look, more than anything, all I'm saying is take care of yourself. Hold your cards a little bit with some things close to your chest. You know, be emotionally vulnerable with people, but yeah, there's some things, unless you're dead certain, you know, it's worth sharing, then don't, because you don't want people thinking lesser of you just because they misunderstand something about you. That's it, because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen recently, and it's really unfortunate. That's what's compelled me to make this video. Okay, take care of yourselves, love each other, catch you in the next one.